Lars and the Real Girl is about a man named Lars who is still grappling with the death of his parents, among other issues. Lars meets Bianca, who is actually a plastic intimate doll. He sees and treats her as a real person. At first, Lars's brother Gus is dismissive and mortified, whereas Karen, the pregnant sister-in-law, is accepting and willing to go along, as recommended by the doctor. Later on, the family in their small town accepts their relationship. Bianca even gets a job, volunteers, and people enjoy spending time with her. She has a schedule. While the end is tragic, it is still a film about acceptance and love. Bianca's presence seems to be triggered by Karen's pregnancy and Lars's childhood trauma of his mother dying during his birth. Lars has an emotional and behavioral disorder, and from what I could identify as a sensory processing disorder. Some attributes of this disorder exhibited in the film are internalized disorder, anxiety and withdrawal, difficulty building and maintaining relationships, language impairments, as Lars only speaks a few words per sentence, somewhat psychotic behavior, being that Bianca is real to him, and he has active conversations with her. Lars also engages in tertiary treatment with Dr. Dagmar. These are more intensive therapy/intervention sessions. As for SPD, characteristics are over responsiveness to touch, like being startled or irritated. For Lars, he actually feels physical pain. Some people also avoid large crowds or events to avoid accidental touch. However, Lars does go to a party for the first time with Bianca. Also, some people have specific clothing preferences. Tight and restrictive is usually not ideal. However, Lars does wear extra clothing, so he can't feel touch. While it is a heartwarming and uplifting film about disabilities, there are some problematic issues that relate to underlying psychosocial stigma. First being the stereotype of small towns and generalization of non-diverse populations making up heterosexual, white, Christian, and able-bodied people. Another problem could be the idea of exotic women. Because Bianca is half Danish and Brazilian, she doesn't speak English and is in a wheelchair. Third, are three topics Block brings up, being that the burden of disability is unending. Gus and Karen feel like they have to take care of Lars and check in on him frequently. Bianca needs to be bathed, dressed, pushed around, even though she is a doll. And the successful handicapped person is Superman. Yes, Bianca is an extraordinary woman who helps the town and is eventually loved by everyone. And finally, a disability is a sickness, something that needs to be fixed. As in, Lars was essentially cured or on the path in the end. I watched this movie for a third time with friends to see their reactions. They loved it. While I totally saw myself as Karen, they were more like Gus and had feelings and reactions of pity and humor. While Bianca is a 125-pound sex doll, some people in the town and my friends couldn't get past that. They made jokes about their relationship rather than viewing Bianca as a non-intimate girlfriend. This shows how some people aren't always completely accepting of things outside the norm and individuals with disabilities. Prevalent throughout the entire movie is emotions of pity, as Haynes in Black note. The audience are pitting Lars rather than the underlying cause. While initially watching this movie, I thought it was perfect, portraying disabilities in a positive light. After watching it again and learning from this class, I noticed that there are some detailed events and implications as mentioned in the previous two slides. It made me rethink about films and portrayals in media, especially when watching it with others. In connection to learnings from this class, we need to be aware of the way we treat people with disabilities, like how people treated Bianca. Some would speak to Lars for her, while others would speak directly to Bianca. This reference reminded me of Nancy in Crip Camp, commenting on the inaccuracies of soul dependency. For example, people speaking on her behalf and not having a lot of time alone. As teachers, we can provide positive support and instruction. We can also understand trauma as well as identify students who have internalized disorders. Finally, the importance of an all-around supportive community, like Lars and the Real Girl. This should include specialists, family members, supportive peers, and an accessible classroom layout. Overall, I enjoyed this unique film, and I would recommend it to others. Thank you.